Let's start with the belief that runs half the internet. If I want my content to bring in clients on YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever, the number one thing I need is more views, more followers, more reach. You hear it everywhere. You got to get the algorithm to push you. You need better thumbnails. You need to post every day. It's a volume game. So if you're a founder of a boutique B2B firm, RevOps, go-to-market, marketing ops, strategy, whatever your lane, you get dragged into a game that was never built for you, which is the mass creator game. So you start believing that if you don't have 10K views on a video, tens of thousands of followers, big spikes on your analytics, then your YouTube or your content isn't working. I'm gonna be blunt. For 20K, 50K advisory projects, that is the worst possible game you can play. It's the slowest, most painful, least effective way to turn your expertise into real pipeline. And in this episode, I'm gonna show you why more views equal more clients is not just wrong for you, it's probably costing you deals right now. I'm not saying this from some pedestal. I totally get how you got there, especially if you run a 20% boutique and or you're a Black founded or POC founded firm working in mostly white traditional B2B spaces. Open YouTube or LinkedIn. What do you say? Well, creators celebrating subscriber milestones, carousels like how I got 1 million views in 30 days, case studies that all start with this video blew up. Then you look at your numbers, your actual numbers, okay? 73 views on a video where you share a framework you use in 50K projects, 200 views on a live where you break down a real RevOps or go-to-market case, almost no comments, no oh my god, this changed my life. Of course, your brain goes, the problem must be reach. People just aren't seeing us. If we had more visibility, it would automatically turn into clients. If you're Black or POC, on top of that, there's another layer. You see people less experienced than you, very often white, getting wild engagement on surface level stuff. And you think, so not only do I have to be twice as good at the work, now I also have to run the content hamster wheel and hope the algorithm likes me. So your brain does a very reasonable shortcut, okay? Fewer viewers is fewer clients. Therefore, more views is more clients. On paper, the logic is clean. The whole ecosystem is screaming that story at you. So it's completely normal that you believe it. But for 20K, 50K B2B decisions, it just doesn't hold up. I built a single sales and brand engine scorecard for you. 10 quick questions that show you where your engine is quietly leaking 20K to 50K deals. Grab it from the description and do it while you listen so this lands on your real numbers, not in theory. Let's pull on this belief a bit. If more views equals more clients were really true, here's what we'd say. Anyone with a 100K view video about RevOps, go-to-market strategy, B2B marketing, demand gen would be booked out for a month. Calendars packed with 20K to 50K consulting projects, basically zero pipeline anxiety. You and I both know that's not what's happening. We both know people who have big audiences, pull impressive view counts, and still mostly sell $497 courses or are scrambling to learn serious consulting /RevOps/strategy mandates. On the flip side, there are people and firms who have tiny YouTube channels or 500-person newsletters or small niche podcasts, and they quietly have better pipeline than creators 10 times their size. So if more views equals more clients were always true, those firms couldn't exist, right? But they do. So the belief is already cracked. Now test it against your own business. Think about your best clients, the 20K, 50K project. You are actually proud of it. Did they come from a massive viral spike? Did they DM you, this video did crazy numbers, we need to work with you? Or did it look more like someone mentioned you? They checked your website, they saw a couple of LinkedIn posts, maybe watched one or two deeper things, an interview, a talk, a tear down, and then thought, okay, I like how this person thinks. Let's talk. Every time I walk founders through their last 5-10 great clients, it is the same pattern. Your best clients didn't fall out of the sky from one viral hit. They came because those buyers had enough coherent touch points to trust your brain. And that's a totally different game than get more rich. So a quick analogy for you today. You own a small, really good restaurant. Food, wine, service, all on point. If I told you the only way to fill your restaurant is to have millions of people walk past your window every day, you'd laugh, right? There's a huge difference between being on a hyper busy street where people barely glance at your window and being on a quieter street but listed in a couple of serious guides recommended by a few trusted people with guests who make a detour to eat with you and bring a friend. You don't say, our problem is we don't have enough random food traffic. But you say, our problem is how do we make the right people decide this place is worth a detour and worth recommending? In your business, views are foot traffic, people walking past the window. Pipeline is the people who cross town for you. More views equals more clients is basically saying, I don't care who's walking past as long as there are a lot of them. For 20K, 50K B2B decisions, that is insane, right? So let's make it a bit uncomfortable and specific, okay? Imagine a RevOps boutique. 10 people, mid-market clients, 40K to 80K project sizes. They launch a YouTube channel. So scenario A, the video title is Top 5 RevOps Mistakes. That is broad and generic. It catches a wave and has 50K views. And most viewers are SDRs, junior ops, random people across industries. So real questions, okay? How many real economic buyer with a 50K budget watched it? How many of those went straight from that video to book a strategy call? You know the answer. Basically 0. Now, scenario B. Same firm, they publish an 8-episode miniseries like 3 ways RevOps leaders in 20 million, 50 million ARR companies accidentally kill expansion pipeline. What to fix before you hire your next RevOps manager. How to stop SEs and CSMs from doing shadow RevOps. Each video gets about 300 views. Not sexy for the ego, I know. But 40, 50 of those are actual RevOps leaders, VP sales, CRO of the right brand. A chunk of them watch 2-3 episodes over a few weeks. So let's say 10 of them book a call over the year. The firm closes 3 projects at 50K. That's 150K in revenue from content that only did 300 views. Not viral spike, no crazy reach. Just the right people binging a coherent series. That one example alone blows up. More views equals more clients. So if more views is the wrong game for you, what is the right game if you run a 2 to 20 person B2B expert firm, often Black funded or POC funded, selling RevOps, marketing ops, go-to-market strategy work in the 20K to 50K range? The right game isn't becoming a full-time creator, chasing virality, being on 5 platforms a day. The right game is building a simple sales and brand engine. By that I mean your content stops being a pile of random posts and one-off videos. It becomes a loose but intentional path that lets a serious buyer first see their current problem clearly. 2. See how you frame and diagnose it. 3. See how you think about solving it. 4. Decide if they want to bring you into the company. In my work, that engine sits on 4 basics, not a big framework pitch, just what actually shows up when it works. Okay, so first, clarity core. You pick one flagship offer and one core problem to build around. For example, we help RevOps leaders in 20 to 50 million ARR SaaS companies recover 1-3 million of expansion pipeline that's currently leaking. 2. Signature universe. You create a show / series / universe where that problem lives. That's what this season is. Not whatever video I feel like, but a clear bingeable series. 3. Episode and season arc. So you don't overcomplicate it, but there's a rough journey, okay? Episode 1, 3, 2, 3, name their current state and what it's costed them. Episode 4 to 6, dig into diagnosis, beliefs, gaps. Episode 3 to 9, show how you think about fixing it. Episode 10 to 13, case studies, mistakes, decisions, next steps. So a buyer can literally hit play next, play next, play next, and feel themselves moving toward a decision. 4. Production habits. You set a rhythm that fits your life. Maybe 1 or 2 batch recording days per quarter. A simple repurpose plan into LinkedIn / email, and clear ways your team uses the content in sales. Okay, pre-call, homework, follow-up, stakeholder alignment. See the shift? You move from we need more views to we want 30 to 50 right buyers to be able to binge a season that naturally leads into a serious conversation with us. That's the shift from content to engine. So if you keep playing the more views game, you kind of already know what your next 12 to 24 months look like, because it probably looks like your last 12 to 24. You post when you can't with no wheel spine. You judge yourself by likes and impressions first. You watch less qualified competitors become the visible go-to names. You stay dependent on a small network of warm intros for serious deals. At some point, you quietly decide content just doesn't work for firms like ours. The cost isn't just ego. The real cost is 1, 2, 3 extra 20K, 50K projects a year that never happen, founder/partner time burnt on low leverage here's what we do calls, staying the best kept secret in your region or vertical while someone else takes the reference slot. So here's the question for you today. Do you want to keep playing the views game, or do you want to start playing the pipeline game? If you want to stay in the views game, you already know the playbook, right? Post more, chase hooks and trends, obsess over thumbnails, pray to the algorithm. If you're ready to play the pipeline game instead, the rest of this season is for you. We are going to pull apart more of these old beliefs, show you how to think in terms of an engine, and give you a clear picture of what your first season could look like. And if you want a mirror right now on where your engine's leaking deals, I built that Sales and Brand Engine Scorecard for boutique B2B firms. 10 simple statements about your pipeline, positioning, content. 5 minutes, you'll see where you are strong and where you are quietly leaking 20K to 50K opportunities. Links in the description if you want it.